Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. A little over a week away now until UFC 203, featuring the debut of CM Punk in the Octagon. I will be there in Cleveland covering the event for NoDQ.com. If you're going to be in Cleveland or anywhere near Cleveland, we will be having a pre-UFC 203 meetup. Message me on Facebook, facebook.com/AaronRift for more info on that. Got your questions regarding WWE, Backlash, and other topics. So let's get started with the first question, which comes from Insane Panda. What did you think about the Miz's promo in the opening segment of SmackDown? I thought it was a good promo. It was definitely something that people were hyped up about. It was highly anticipated to see the Miz's follow-up to last week. It was a very good promo, but I will say I am disappointed in the fallout from the Talking Smack segment. I think we were all maybe hoping that there would be more to the storyline between the Miz and Daniel Bryan, but it appears to be pretty much over at this point, which is a disappointment, but I think it is realistic. Maybe it was wishful thinking for some of us to think maybe this might be some sort of angle to get Daniel Bryan back in the ring for one more match. It doesn't appear to be the case. It appears to be merely something to set up The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. So on that note, it was a bit of a disappointment when Dolph Ziggler came out, but this should be able to help Ziggler get some momentum back after losing to Ambrose at SummerSlam. And I got this question here from Javier Reyes. After SmackDown this week, are you at all impressed with the AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose feud? I thought that it was very by the numbers what they did on SmackDown with AJ winning his match and Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin with AJ interfering. Very typical stuff for your feuds. I really felt that it was nothing special out of the ordinary. AJ getting crotched at the end on the ropes and just hanging there while Ambrose celebrates and holds up the title. I mean, it was fine, but I mean, it was nothing overly creative or unique or anything like that. They still got 1 week to go, and my guess is that this is just going to be the first in a series of matches. I'm expecting this feud to continue, so they got time. I'm thinking at least through Hell in a Cell, they're going to keep this feud going. Regardless of what happens at the Backlash pay-per-view, I'm expecting this feud to continue, and the storyline will have more time to really develop and get going. I mean, they only had like 3 weeks, counting next week, to build up the Backlash match. We'll see what they do next week, but so far, I mean, it's been very standard. Got this one here from Kyle Allen. Is AJ Styles the WWE MVP so far in 2016? I would say so. I mean, it's early. There's still a couple months left, but when the NoDQ.com year-end awards begin, I think that AJ has a very good chance of winning Superstar of the Year. He has been tremendous, phenomenal. There's no other better way to put it, really. He's had an amazing 2016. He had several great matches with Roman Reigns. He had several great matches with John Cena. He has really made a name for himself, and I would be shocked if he's not WWE Champion before the year is up. It's going to be tough to beat him in the Superstar of the Year award this year. Kevin Owens might have a shot at it. There are several guys that have a shot at being the MVP/Superstar of the Year. Owens is one of those guys, and Seth Rollins is definitely in the running, even though he missed part of the year. He has still been a major force in WWE. AJ, though, I mean, this has really been his breakout year in WWE. I mean, no doubt he's going to win Breakout Star in WWE, and probably, I think there's a very good chance of him winning Superstar of the Year. This one comes from James. Hey Aaron, do you find Bray Wyatt boring? All of his promos are the same, and he scares no one and always loses his rivalries. I agree with this. I feel that the Bray Wyatt character is just running on a treadmill. It really hasn't evolved or changed over the past few years. It did seem like there was some hope for Bray Wyatt when he did that babyface turn right after WrestleMania and aligned himself with Roman Reigns. And then he got hurt, and that pretty much killed whatever momentum he had. I felt a face turn might have been able to reinvent the Bray Wyatt character and give him some more mileage as a character in WWE. You look at The Undertaker. The Undertaker came in as this dominant heel, and then The Undertaker turned face, and it just completely reinvented him as a character, and Undertaker continued to evolve over the years. I haven't seen it with Bray Wyatt yet. I mean, a lot of people compare Wyatt to Undertaker, but up to this point, he's the same exact character he's been since he debuted, and it's the same pattern. He comes in, he starts up a feud randomly with somebody, and then he ends up losing the feud. So nothing has changed, and yeah, I feel that the opportunity was missed partly due to the injury. You know, when he was brought back, WWE could have kept him as a face, but they didn't. I'm not really even sure what he is at this point. He just comes out and does the same thing every week. So yeah, it really needs to have some change, and the character needs some more development, and it needs to go in a different direction. I just think that what he's been doing now, it's not going to do him any favors in the long run. Got this one here from RS. Just how far can they go with Heath Slater? Can he potentially be something more than a mid-card? I think he could. He definitely showed the fire in some of his recent promos, but based off of this week's television, these skits where they showed Slater at his house with Renee Young interviewing him and Rhino eating the crackers, you know, basically this whole trailer park trash gimmick that Heath Slater's doing, I think it's clear as day the company just sees him as a mid-card comedy act and nothing more. Potentially, he could do better in WWE. Him and Rhino could win the tag team titles. But I have a feeling WWE's not going to go all the way with Slater and really elevate him. I think they'll keep doing these comedy segments, and he'll be in that spot, and that'll be it. I mean, I think there's a ceiling for Heath Slater, unfortunately. But he definitely showed that he can cut the promos that the top stars can cut. He definitely has those abilities to cut the promos and perform in the ring too as well. Got this one here from Beast Slayer. With recent allegations from both Ryback and Del Rio about WWE empty promises, how does it make the company look? It does make the company look bad somewhat, but at the same time, there's only so many spots, so many top spots especially, and not everyone is going to have a top spot. WWE made a mistake with Ryback. They made the mistake of booking him against CM Punk when he was red hot, and it was too soon for him to be losing. And that significantly cooled off his momentum. So I do not blame Ryback for being upset about that. And he could have been a more dominant heel in WWE. He could have had a really solid run. And again, the company really did not go all the way with him, which is surprising because he's got the bodybuilder look that Vince has loved over the years. That's why I was surprised that Ryback did not reach his full potential. But yeah, him being in the pre-show matches was definitely a waste. I mean, Ryback was very, very talented for a guy his size, and he had the look, and he could have been a long-term superstar in WWE. With Del Rio, they also dropped the ball on him with that botched face turn back in 2013, and when he was brought back, the first night they did a great job, but then they paired him up with Zeb Coulter, and he really went nowhere. And then he was in the League of Nations, and yeah, WWE could have done something with him, and they didn't. So really, I think it's more about the creative team, and you know, who knows what the truth is in terms of the empty promises. But I can definitely see why both guys were unhappy, and I can definitely sympathize with both of them. This one comes from Andrew. Do you think Big Cass's involvement in the title match was to see how he would do on his own, and do you see a breakup coming soon? I definitely feel it was done to test the waters with him and see how he would handle being in the main event position on Raw, and he did well. I still feel that him and Enzo should stay a team for the time being. There's no need to break up that team right now. They are red hot, and My hope is that Cass will be able to gain enough confidence and gain enough ability to be able to go off on his own without Enzo. I mean, one thing that was clear on Raw was that when Cass came out, it was really when Enzo came out that the crowd came unglued. I mean, it was Enzo who really got the superstar reaction. And my concern is they break up the team too soon and Cass is just going to be lost without Enzo. I mean, Enzo has so much charisma and so much personality. The idea is to let the two of them continue working together and let that team run its course in WWE. And hopefully by the time they do split up, Cass will be ready to go to the next level and potentially be a main event superstar in WWE. I mean, that's definitely what WWE is hoping. This one comes from Daniel Jobber. Would you still be up for a Sting versus Taker match at WrestleMania 33, or would you rather see Taker versus Cena? I think it's too late for Sting versus Taker. I mean, even if Sting was healthy, I feel that it should have been done this past year. And realistically, it should have been done years ago. I mean, back like around 2011 when all the rumors were going around. I feel it's too late. WrestleMania 33, I mean, I'm not really interested in seeing that match, even if Sting was able to go, which it's unlikely he will be able to go. Taker versus Cena, I definitely feel is the match WWE should do. That is like the one big dream match that we haven't seen at WrestleMania. Undertaker versus John Cena, two of the biggest stars of the past decade, and Taker going even further back than that. It would be an awesome match. I mean, with an incredible atmosphere, and I would definitely go for it while you still can. And really, there's not a lot of other options for Undertaker at this point. Got this one here from Frenchie the Chef. Hey Aaron, how would you feel about a faction with Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, and the Revival? I feel like it's money. I would like the idea of a Four Horsemen like faction in NXT. We really haven't seen something like that. A dominant group trying to run the place in NXT. The only issue I would have with that particular lineup is I do not think it's a good idea to put Roode and Aries together just because there's the TNA association. And I would be surprised if WWE did that because of the fact that it would get people thinking about TNA and WWE would be accused of copying TNA by pairing these guys together. I just think they're better off separate. But Bobby Roode running his own heel faction and having somebody else besides Aries as part of the group, why not? I mean, that would be an awesome storyline, having these dominant heels taking over the place and having the faces try and stop their power. I would definitely be interested in that kind of storyline in NXT for sure. Got this one here from B Money. If Shawn Michaels doesn't lose his smile in 97, is it HBK versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13 for the title? If so, who would have Austin faced instead? The plan was for Bret Hart to face Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 13, but due to Shawn Michaels being hurt, WWE had to change plans. And, you know, there's all that speculation that Shawn Michaels exaggerated the injury so he could get out of doing a job to Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13, repaying the favor. And, you know, that led to a lot of the real life issues between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. It's interesting because what would have happened with Austin if Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels ended up taking place at WrestleMania 13? Who would have Austin faced, and would he have been the breakout star that he ended up being? Very interesting question, and that could have changed the entire face of WWE and the wrestling industry as we knew it and know it today. I'm not sure who Austin would have faced, and I'm not sure if that Stone Cold character would have really taken off if it wasn't for the feud with Bret Hart, and of course the big angle at WrestleMania 13 with Austin passing out while in the sharpshooter. Maybe they would have done Austin versus Sid or Austin versus Undertaker, but it just wouldn't have been the same. So yeah, the entire wrestling industry could have been different if HBK did not lose his smile in 97. That'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A Video. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it on Facebook or Twitter. Subscribe if you haven't already. And Also, stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Backlash. Backlash is one day after UFC 203, so that's going to be a crazy weekend. NoDQ.com will have you covered for both events. Stay tuned for all the latest news and rumors for both shows, and I will see you guys next time for more NoDQ&A video.